That's a one news in one day. When a company loses 85% of their value. When the company announced that after 2 experiment, 3rd phase trial did not show expected results. One day, one news, the company losing $700 million, almost $1 billion in the market capitalization. You see again, what the beautiful part about bad news, and I want you to all understand, which probably you don't. People are good and they have a tendency to forget bad stuff extremely fast. They remember good stuff, but they forget about the bad stuff. As you can see in every chart, once the company got beaten up, in a certain period of time, they totally recuperate. What it means, that people forget the bad news. So, most of you, when they present a news, don't be afraid to present the bad news because the people are going to forget. And they will appreciate more if you, can I use the word, bullshitting. If you're going to not bullshitting them, they're going to forget very fast. So you see, the company starts to recuperate without the news, and then one day, the stock went up over 1,000%. 1,000% in one day. Because the phase trial worked out very well. If you take a look, when the company did everything well, they was not trading as high. So bad news for getting right away, good news are less than long. Another stock, take a look. This company have a large problem. The company really international. Right now, most of the New York Stock Exchange companies do not take Chinese. It's a Chinese company. What happened in one day? In one day, the stock dropped almost to zero because the filing fraudulent and financial statements. But the company said they made $300 million while they never made money. Wall Street would never forget this kind of news. They can forget everything except this news. What happened to the stock? It was zero right now. Zero. The company worth absolutely nothing and it's got delisted. That's a beautiful, if you take a look at this example, this is the best work of the public relation company, and I'll show it to you. What they did. In 2009, this company got destroyed. The price of the stock was 50 cents. All of these companies which I'll show to you, I participated with my own money. I bought the stock, sold the stock, made the money. In this company, honestly, I should have probably made a few $100 million, but since I'm a day trader, I get in, I get out, I get in, I get out. I'm not a Warren Buffett. I don't invest for a long time. So what happened here? You see, if you're going to take a look, that almost every month the news are coming out. It means the company have a lot of good news at the same time, and they slowly distributing the news one after another, basically to keep the market well spoken about that. When the stock was 60 cents, you see March 27, company making an announcement, they're selling an unprofitable business, which is extremely good news. You see, right there, 3 days later, increased by the credit line by $5 million. So the stock went up already from 50 cents to $7. We're talking about 1,200% in actually less than 1 week. You see, right after that, when the stock started to grow, in April 22, the company shows first profitable quarter in 2 years, and the stock went up again. Right after that, a week later, the company provides funds buying stakes in the company. Private funds start to buy a stake in the company. They believe the company is way undervalued. And this is the positive news. The company go higher, higher, higher. While on November 3rd, the company received a tender offer to be bought out at $26. 3 days later, 20 days later, the company got beat up by another company at $32. And on December 23rd, the same company which did the first tender offer at $23, they bid for the stock much higher. That's another bad news. It's a no buy. You see, like every presentation has a picture. What does it mean? Right here, the company called Gerchik Robertson Company, Capital Partners, private investment company, made a tender offer to buy Harman International. Everybody knows this company. It's a Harman Kardon. They make Audi equipment, expensive toys. So what happened here? The stock went up 20% because they did a tender offer. Once you see the chart like this, when the price of the stock, usually what it is, when the company is trying to announce someone else, the stock would go steady, it would not go up and down because it's the same price. Usually it takes for the company almost a year to complete the buyout. So right here what happened? You can see something really is going on, people are dropping the stock down. It means the problem is going to be no more, they're not going to buy the company any longer. In 1 day, the stock drops from $110 to $80 because the company don't want to buy it anymore. What happened probably in a certain period of time, they have a grace period in 4 or 5 months, they did not like their financials, so they basically what happened, they did drop the company. After that, you see no good news, the company is going down, and here the company made an announcement they're going to make less by 20% of the profit. we call it this 2 plus 2 equal 5. Right here, it was extremely good company, WCG. What happened here? That's what they want new skill. You're talking about 90% drop in one single day. Because the FBI, Department of Health, walking into the company, raided the premises, headquarters, and try to find the news. Just remember, and for you to understand, FBI does not walk to every office and does not request the paperwork. If they come to the office, especially people who live in the United States, they know it's a problem. So what happened here, the CEO of the company got arrested, the stock went from $130, it looks extremely perfect, went down to $20 in one single day. But you see, as I said before, people are good, they have a tendency to forget. You see, stock totally recuperated from $20 to $60, went up 300%, right after the bad news. People have a tendency to forget. This is a very funny story with this corporation, and one day the stock dropped from $20 to $2. What happened? This company had one drug which is called wax. For most of the people who ever had a problem with their back, they usually, if you have a jam in your nervous system in the back, this drug can really help you out. I use it a few times. So what happened in this one day? It was a clinical trial, and the clinical trial shows that 4 of the people who used this drug just passed away. And when they tried to figure it out, you see that's why the news are effective. Nobody cares what the company produced. They just said, it's a bad news, we killed the stock. Once they started to figure out what happened to the corporation, the 4 people who died, 3 of them was the age of above 75 years old and had previous heart attacks. So nobody cared. These people was old and they was about to die anyway very shortly. But you see, the stock dropped 80% in one day. After that, the company recuperated, didn't show the chart for a long time, but the stock went back to $40 because the company did very well. Know the news before buying or selling. That's basically most important thing which have in our industry. I have a very little presentation what I want to show to you. As I said before, I don't know much about, like all of you know about branding, communicating with the public, but I know one thing for a fact. That's one little bad news, or when you don't say something about the news that you have, it's going to create a problem. I brought to you one chart that I'm going to show to you and read the news. That's a company Groupon, which just went on sale as an IPO on November 4th. The news just came out 3 days ago, you probably didn't see it, but it's a very funny news. Here's a very fresh example of what happened to the stock price when the analyst just did not like it, the way the company presented the news. What it is, like usually in a conference call, you see what the CEO is saying. If you take a look at the old presentation of Steve Jobs, the gentleman was always calm, same voice, no ups and downs. Analytics, when they hear the news, they don't want to hear like, your voice is a little down, they know right away and you're going to get spotted. There's extremely smart guys working there, they're putting billions of dollars into the company. So what happened with the Groupon? That's a news right out, right from Reuters. Groupon Corporation shares slumped Wednesday as a daily deal company first quarter results. Since it went public, stock concerned about limited disclosure and very much slowing growth. Groupon reported unexpected fourth quarter loss from a huge tax bill, most of which will likely not to be repeated. What does it mean? The company got hit with a tax bill which is not going to be repeated in the past. If it would be everything fine, the people would not even use that news as a bad example because it's called one-time charge. But while the tax bill caught Wall Street eyes, analysts were more unsettled by the signs Groupon breakness pace of the growth from the recent quarters will not be slow. Groupon also did not disclose some metrics that the company had reported in filings last year for its initial public offering. There weren't a lot of details of metrics that Groupon provided in the past, said Aaron Kessler at the analyst of Raymond James. There may be some frustration with this. A lack of details is never a good thing. Groupon stock went down 15%. This news clearly shows again that people, bless you, Lord bless you, what this chart shows you again, that's, again, take a look. People don't really care about the news. You see, the stock went down and then completely went up. And then went down and since coming back. So the bad news for the corporation, it's perfectly fine. As long as it's no fraud, it's no FBI investigation, and you're not bullshitting your customers, you're always going to come back. As you see, November 4th, the company went public at $30 and it went straight down to $24. What it is? It's one simple thing. The price for the stock was overpriced. Right now, the Facebook coming out and it's going to be very hot issues. You cannot really compare Groupon, which is a company has pretty much nothing there, and a Facebook, with the billions of users. But as you see, we in trading industry we say one thing: chart never lies. You see a good chart, you buy. You see a bad chart, you don't buy. So I put it here in a little joke. News in our industry, they're so sensitive, they're like in real life. You cannot really, come to your wife off the bat and say, honey, we're getting divorced, because, she can have heart attack. But you can start slow saying, we spent many years together, and then something did not really work out between us. Maybe, we can take the best different way. You go your way, I go my way. So in our industry, the news is everything. And basically, to finalize everything, learn to present the news to the public in the right way they're supposed to be. I understand most of you work in a private corporation and you don't have investors who's going to invest into your company. But I know one thing, that basically the truth, in this case, is going to win. And another, to finalize and let all of you off the hook and go for lunch and have lunch, I'll tell you one thing. I was never a lover of the Facebooks, and all other social contacts and everything else. I think personally it's my personal opinion, of course. I think personally it's a very bad thing for the people. What I did, today news came out, you probably didn't even see it. And I'll put it for you, the news. The news came out yesterday. Of course from the United States, where the most craziest people live. You'll be surprised. Facebook defrauding led to double murder because the girl got defriended from the Facebook. She told the husband takes the gun, go to the house and shoot 2 people in the head. I'm serious. I'll read it to you, the news. I'm sure everybody knows English very well here. Plus perfectly, I told the truth. I think we should give a round of applause for our translator. He done a great job in 2 days. I told the truth. I was listening to this on station. Please give us a smile. He did an excellent job. I put translate right here. A Tennessee couple who was defriended on the move on Facebook were murdered. Right in that shoot in the head. So perfectly, you can read the news later on. It's all over the news. It's a fresh news. 11 hours ago, I got 5 o'clock in the morning, and I said, what can I give these people before the lunch? I got to give them some good mood. And when I was reading this, I told the truth. Not before you go. That's the issue. So you gotta use it correctly. That's the problem. Yesterday was a very nice presentation about privacy and conspiracy, and I tell the truth. When somebody put my name in the internet, I'm a very well-known person. I don't want people to know how much my house worth. Honestly, and I like your presentation yesterday as well about it. There's the things to know and the things not to know. And the problem is you can't go against the Google and tell them, I want that information to be removed. Anyway, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. If you like my presentation, I will be selling my business card right outside. They're not too expensive. I wanted to make a fast presentation, but everybody wants to eat, so I gotta make it short. If something, we'll spend the time for lunch. Thank you very much. No questions, no people from the public trading industries? Oh, that's, first time in such a, usually my lectures are 4 to 5 hours and the people cannot leave because we lock the doors.